New reaction to the upcoming release of that tell-all book about the top-secret mission to kill the world's most wanted terrorist. The author, a former Navy SEAL who was one of the first men through the door on the night of Osama bin Laden's death, and that is raising concern over whether he included any classified information. Now, we've seen those same worries, of course, before, as speculation swirled when sensitive details surfaced right after the raid, and the White House denied that the leaks came from them or were meant to boost the president's political standing. The book's planned release bringing new attention to where those leaks really began. New York Republican Congressman Peter King, chairman of the House Homeland Security Committee. Congressman, always good to see you. Before we get to the other leaks, I mean, look, this former Navy SEAL who wrote the book could be prosecuted, we read the statute here, if it contains classified information. Where do you stand on that?
I believe that all of these leaks are wrong. In fact, I've been talking to some special operators, and I wouldn't be surprised if we actually saw former special ops soldiers actually taking legal action against the author of this book. So I think it's wrong. But I also, in your preamble, you were talking about what happened a year ago, and that's where this all began, with the leaks coming out of the White House. The special operations officer should not have done what he did, but the initial ones, the ones that I think have caused tremendous damage, certainly could cause tremendous damage, are the ones that came from the White House just a year ago, or 15 months ago.
You say they came from the White House. Now, you're not only the head of the Homeland Security Committee, you sit on the Intel Committee. Have you personally seen any evidence that the White House disseminated classified information?
There was information that came that could only have come from the White House. For instance, as far as the flight patterns that the helicopters use, just the term SEAL Team 6, that came from the administration. That is probably the biggest leak of all, which created the that was the initial leak that has probably caused more damage than anything else. Potential damage to SEAL team members and their families. You talk to these people, these Navy SEALs, they will tell you that should never have been disclosed.
But the president said this, and in fact, I'll quote him. The notion that my White House would purposely release classified national security information is offensive. It's wrong. Now, there's two possibilities here. Either he's not telling the truth, or he just didn't know that the leaks were coming from his White House. Which do you think it is?
I think he had to know, and what he was referring to there was the leaks that come out of the White House this past May and June involving Yemen, as far as the counterplot that we had going on in Yemen, which was disclosed. There was a small number of people that knew about it, and from it's clear to me that came from the White House. But the other stories, as far as the Iranian computer virus, that by the stories themselves in the New York Times said that people who were attending meetings in the White House, people who were in the National Security Council, people in the Oval Office, that's the administration, that's the White House, that's the president's office himself. So for him to say that they didn't come from the White House is just wrong. He has to know it's wrong, and this has to be fully investigated by the FBI.
Yeah. Democratic Senator Dianne Feinstein, who's chair of the Select Committee on Intelligence, said, and I'm quoting here, I think that the White House has to understand that some of it is coming from their ranks. You're persuaded that the leaks were intended to burnish the president's image to help him get reelected, Congressman?
I think they were done carelessly by the White House. Whether or not it was to help him get reelected, it was certainly to enhance the president's image. That's what happened with the killing of bin Laden. The president deserves full credit for that, but the White House, the image makers, were not content with that, and they gave all this detail, which is unparalleled, I believe, in military history, for that much detail to come out. I mean, we didn't know about the Enigma Code till 30 years after World War II. This, we found out about bin Laden days after the killing. The details went into that raid.
The Obama campaign has an ad. It's called One Chance. I'm sure you've seen it. It features, the images of Black Hawk helicopters, military pilots, and so forth. It suggests that Governor Romney would not have made the same decision to call for the raid that killed Osama bin Laden. Is that, in your judgment, politicizing a grave matter of national security, not to mention questioning Governor Romney's moral courage?
Yeah, I think the president could find a way to give himself, let people know that he was responsible for the raid that killed bin Laden. But to take a shot at Mitt Romney and to glorify what he did, to me, that's like a double politicization, and to somehow question, say, Mitt Romney wouldn't have done it. Well, the fact is that I'm confident Mitt Romney would have done it. I have no doubt he would have done it. I would hope any American president would. But for President Obama to take, that is a real cheap shot. That is wrong, and that just ties into this whole politicization of what should be a national unity effort. And again, the president, if he could have found a subtle way to give himself credit, he deserved that. But there's overkill, which he has gone into, and the administration has gone into, and the Axelrod axis has gone into. All of that is wrong. It's indefensible, and the president really has to account for that.
Congressman Peter King, thank you for being with us.
Great. Thank you.
Well, still to come.